Yeah, definitely. The Marcel is available as well. If they want to go for the Marcel Harif into that Eve pick, that is also a possibility, especially with a Duzin opener. You do have to think about that mid lane priority as well, right? We know what Delvin is capable of. Yesterday, when he was playing in that Team Indonesia's side, his Duzin was extremely scary. But instead, with Dangerous Grass, they go for Hilda and the Baxia pick.
Okay, so just from the Baxia and Hilda, we pretty much know that they want to play early game. Like really early game, they want to storm over in Team Indonesia. And it's not just the fact that they have good firepower on the Hilda, but they also do have pretty good survivability on top of that, with tank jungler as well as a tank roam from the side of Hilda. In fact, it doesn't matter, it doesn't necessarily have to be a tank, a roam Hilda. It can even be a XP Hilda.
Yeah, I mean, with this current patch, I feel that EXP Hilda is still kind of viable, right? It's still kind of viable, especially if you are trying to play for that macro-based playstyle, trying to force out that 1v1 engages. Now for Team Indonesia, they will have that Claude available, instantly pick it up. Marcel will not be seen at all, and we go for that Fredrin pick coming out from the side of Team Indonesia.
So Hilda definitely will have a very good lane priority, although it's pretty fair to say that she will not have very strong wave clear. However, she does have very good mobility. So even if your opponent is able to clear the wave fast and get out of lanes, at one point in time, Hilda would definitely be able to catch up due to her sheer movement speed because of skill 1. Eventually she'll get there, and of course, by the time that they meet up to the team fight, there is a very high chance that Hilda would be full HP, while the opponent would have been poked out to at least, or rather, at least 3/4 of the HP.
Yeah, and with Team Indonesia's pick, right? Do you go for the Eve here? Do you go for the Harif here versus the Claude, right? You don't want to pick a Harif into a Claude, so they go for neither. They go for the Sora here. They bolster onto that tankiness with that Shifting Skies.
Okay.
Well, I would say Sora right now, it's still strong, but there are teams that learn how to play against the Shifting Skies already.
Yeah, so just because of the Sora pick right now, there is no more ambiguity as to where the Hilda is going to go. Hilda is definitely going to go to the roam, and Sora is going to go over to the XP, leaving out the gold lane as well as the mid lane that is required for Team Singapore to pick out. So when it comes down to the bans for this side, it's understandable that they are definitely going to go for a very tanky orientation. They want to play early game. So for Team Indonesia, one of their few choices is that they want to take away very early game of marksman. In this case, Granger, Bruno, Clint are all very good bans that Indonesia can look out for.
Yeah, very weird ban coming out from side of Team Singapore, right? Going for the Valentina ban, fearing that maybe the EXP
Valentina
lane,
XP,
yeah,
yes.
that might come out. Generally, we do see a lot of the counters when initially Sora was introduced, right? You gotta go Shifting Skies, well, IMU, get the Shifting Skies for yourselves, go into the cloud form.
Being on par.
Yeah, just be on par as much as possible. So yeah, that is one of the early bans that we do see out. And for Team Indonesia, it will be that Eve ban, which is very good against that Zusin in terms of that mid lane priority.
Yep. So for Team Indonesia, they have a lineup that really wants to allow them to play control. They want to control the game as much as possible, allow the Claude to be able to move around the map a lot more freely, so they need to have quite a bit of mobility. Allowing the XP to be freed a lot earlier is ultimately very important. So it does seem like for Coach Eugene have decided to take away the CC just to ensure that Team Indonesia don't get a free lane out of XP.
Yeah, definitely. Sora giving him an easier time. Well, you do get that snowball going, and then you get to use more instances, right, where the Sora is not kept in lane, especially by the CC as well. That's one of the key factors that we do see the thought of CC going into that EXP lane as well. Now, meanwhile, for Team Indonesia, they still want to secure a good priority mid lane. They can still ban out maybe the Zetian, and also there is that Gord available still in that pool as well.
Gord too. Yep. Okay, so Lillian being taken away is also one of those heroes that is really good into a dive composition, which is what Team Singapore is trying to do. They want to do target prioritization, which is something we see a lot. They need to be able to call out some of these shots a lot faster and and very well. Hilda is very single target oriented. Baxia is going to be the same thing as well. Sora does have very strong power when he goes over to the storm form. If you do want an edge over the opponents in terms of firepower.
Yeah, and going for the side of Team Singapore right now, they will have that choice of gold lane here. Not a lot of gold laners are being banned out. They can go for the Moskov, but they might not want to show their hand too early, right? They do need to get a semblance of late game versus the Claude. The Harif, I don't think they are going to go for it, but mid lane right now feels like it's going to be the Kimmy.
So at least the Kimmy will be that part of the insurance policy that Team Singapore is trying to look out for, but that also means that there will be a small little lapse in the early stages of the game where they don't have that bursty firepower. in the event they want to play a bit more burst. So right now, Team Singapore, they're a very committed team comp. The moment that they go in, they want to finish it right there and then. So this way, Team Singapore can play a very early game-oriented gold laner, which does mean that having a Kimi in mid lane, you are not limited to playing early game marksmen such as Clint, the Bruno or Granger. You can actually start to play gold lane fighters like Ruby, for example.
Yeah, on the contrary though, you can still play the Bruno for that kind of bully against the Claude, but the Arlott does come out. I'm surprised that it wasn't banned out instead of the CC, right? Because the Arlott and also the Fredrin combo was just very oppressive, especially in this current meta as well. Now, combined with that glue, Team Singapore, they have a lot to deal with.
They do have a lot, but I can understand why they prefer to ban out the CC over the Arlott. They want to ensure that they take the tempo all the way from the start of the game and do not...
Yeah, okay. We have the Leslie pick coming out from the side of Team Singapore. And, well, oh well. Leslie, my favorite hero, but I'm not too sure what's going on here from the side of Team Singapore. And, yeah, this might be a new strat coming in. We were talking about trying to bully the Cloud out of lane. Yes, Leslie good at bullying, but I would say in terms of survivability, not much there. But, of course, you can see the Fredrin and the glue coming. So, you gotta play such good positioning, though.
Yeah, okay, so... right now, we talk about catch. When it comes down to Leslie, Leslie is great at escaping catch, only to a certain extent. Leslie can go invisible, so these kind of targeting spells will no longer be applicable. So it's technically a good answer over to Arlott, so that he's unable to be too sticky onto you, constantly just second skill right into your face. But my question is if whether glue can still attach to you as a Leslie when you're invisible.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay, yes, you can. The answer is yes. And now we are going into game number 1. Team Indonesia versus Team Singapore here. Team Singapore yet to find a win, and Team Indonesia sitting at the top of Group A so far.
Yep. So this is a very unprecedented team comp. So far for Team Singapore, I don't mind all the way from the start to the 4th one. But the Leslie definitely threw me completely off guard. I do want to see what kind of hidden tech Team Singapore might have for themselves.
Yeah, definitely. Going with the marksman emblem as well will not have that kind of sustain, but both have that quantum charge available. Now, in that mid lane, there's already an early game skirmish. Bellamy going for it at the start here as Junxiang in a bit of trouble as Afan is here. That taunt is available as well, and now Junxiang trying to get away, but Alexander finds the damage through and flickers away to safety along with Delvin. Team Indonesia, very clean use of the battle spells.
That is a very long team fight in the middle lane, and it is really unfortunate that Baxia is the one that went down throughout the entire fight, and Team Indonesia was not able to find one onto Delvin, which had to expend a flicker in order to get herself out of the kill range.
Yeah, at level 3 at that point, couldn't draw the Baxia towards him at that point, but they found the damage through, right? Delvin just laying down the law with that lantern, and now for Tristan versus Xiaoqi here, the Sora, once you reach that level 4, it becomes a huge problem to deal with, but the Arlott can potentially clear out the creep wave before it even starts. Now, taunt being found out by Afan. We have that brawl going as Team Singapore. They bring in Kimi. Alexander falling extremely low, but still disengaging just in the nick of time here. Team Singapore will not get anything going for them.
Yep. At least they did manage to bring Alexander's HP to all-time low, but they're not going to be stopping out the fight. Team Indonesia rushing in.
Yeah, Bellamy unable to survive here despite being in that bush, and notice that shifting skies being played out. That cloud form being used onto Afan. Afan gets taken out. Retribution out for the count. Tristan still fighting into this as Junxiang still surviving through it all. This is a good fight for the side of Team Singapore. They do get the turtle, and Xiaoqi falling extremely low, and Roy does find the finish. Team Singapore actually doing it here.
Yep, looks like they did manage to go pretty dead even against Team Indonesia as of now, being able to get 2 kills of their own and also taking the turtle for themselves. But the question is, where are all these kills going to? Roy with 1 and Junxiang with 1. In the meantime, for Team Indonesia, we do have 1 on the Alexander and 1 over to the side of Xiaoqi. Unfortunately, you wouldn't want to see it from onto the side of Alexander. You would hope that it goes over the Delvin instead.
Yeah, jump onto Alexander. Bellamy unable to find the finish. The flicker has been used away, but dragged back as Bellamy will eventually go down. Wait a minute, the damage is not coming through from the side of the Two Sin. Bellamy still running away, so close here. Delvin does find the finish. Now Royvin does want to deal the damage as much as possible, but Tristan is here, unable to find that pull in with the ultimate.
Okay, that team fight, we can see that there was a lapse in communication. One of them was going for, or rather Roy was going in for Delvin, and unfortunately for Junxiang, he was just looking for a fun. They need to get a more steady prioritization going in. Do they want to deal with the front lines, or do they want to deal with the support?
Yeah, and really, I would say, still on the gold lane itself, Dingarai still farming up a storm, but now with that going, Junxiang, he's in a lot of trouble here, unable to tank up the damage. Appraisal's Wrath being used, flicker forward coming out from Delvin as well. Team Indonesia, they are going full ham here as they are unable to land the final slash, but they already got 2 kills for themselves.
Fight's not going to be over just yet, though. It does seem like re-engage coming from Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan here will be able to get out. He does have that storm form available, and now with that, the traction pulse not there as well.
But going back to even grounds, even though Team Indonesia managed to get quite a lot of kills out of those fights, the gold advantage is only at 1,000 gold. Not too shabby, but a lot of fight has been going on in the XP lane. Team Singapore and Team Indonesia, they have been constantly trying to push the fights towards the northern area, leaving the bottom lane completely untouched, leaving Leslie and Claude to fight for themselves.
Yeah, and Delvin really in these positions have been left unpunished so far. Junxiang going with the shield unity onto Alexander. That might not be a good target here, but the cloud form is used in the center. Delvin with the ultimate dealing so much damage. Bellamy and Junxiang goes down. Tristan as well. Team Indonesia, they're dealing so much damage as Afan gets the turtle and Alexander takes out Keith. Royman, the only one alive. Team Indonesia with a bloodbath.
They're lacking in damage right now. Team Singapore can find themselves in a really tough spot in trying to land some of these kills. As we mentioned before, right? When it comes down to playing in a war of attrition, when your team is generally very tanky, you need to be able to identify who are going to be the main attraction or your main guy that you need to prioritize on. Right now, it's kind of still all over the place. At least for Tristan, he's trying to set up for the team. While in the meantime, the team from the side of Team Singapore, they don't necessarily have got what it takes to be able to melt down a composition like Team Indonesia in a 3-man, I guess, if they're all grouped up in 3-man, which is what Tristan managed to do.
Yeah, 4,000 gold advantage so far coming in for the side of Team Indonesia, and they're not letting the pressure slip. Already the bottom lane tier turret is down, and they're looking for that tier 1 turret. And Delvin, in these positions, he's been so safe, still has that flicker, still has that ultimate, and Team Singapore has no way to initiate on him, despite Tristan always being in that forefront.
I do really want to find out how this is going to work out now. And now, immediately
does go in. Shifting Skies has been found, but Afan, he's falling low, but he's not going to be low enough as Bellamy does not find the finish. Tristan so falling low as well. Team Indonesia, they're doing it. And now once again, Delvin, he's pulling out so much damage as Dingarai comes in with a blazing duet, but Xiaoqi with a triple kill.
Okay, unfortunately, it does seem like the Leslie coming in from the backside, at least he was able to escape from all of these deaths. He did manage to do quite a number of damage over to the side of Delvin, but unfortunately not quite enough. She's not exactly at critical mass as of yet, and right now just need to stick around with the team to ensure that she don't get singled out, because this is a team comp from the side of Team Indonesia that can really put this Leslie in a really tough spot.
Yeah, 6,000 gold advantage. This is why you don't give the Arlet away to the side of the Fredrin user, right? That final slash together with that taunt combination, it becomes much of a bigger threat, especially with Delvin being able to stand all the way in front. They don't need vision. They got to sit, and Delvin's doing so well. Alexander just teasing out the damage going through, and they will eventually get the turtle, and that's the objective gaming settled, and they set their eyes on that mid lane. Tristan goes in with that cloud form. Shifting Skies unable to find that full damage through, and they still lack the damage from the side of Team Singapore. They can't focus fire anyone down.
Tristan is constantly trying to look out for opportunities in order to set up for the team and of course drag everyone back towards the turret in order to get some of the damage being poked out over to the side of Team Indonesia. Unfortunately, we're looking at 8 minutes into the game and close to 7,000 gold lead.
Final slash, that combo coming out from the side of Xiaoqi. He's doing extremely well. Junxiang falling extremely low here. Gets dragged back in from Delvin as well. Afan still with the Appraisal's Wrath, landing it down. No members going down as of yet. They're playing in between the turrets, but Dingarai coming in with the blazing duet. Finds the finish onto Bellamy and to Junxiang as well. Double kill as they want to go for more. Tristan falling extremely low as Xiaoqi gets unstoppable streak with a triple kill onto Keith as well.
Great final slash coming from the side of Xiaoqi. Whenever you weren't expecting, it came out and just literally drag everyone back down to Naraka. Just kill them as much as possible and just bring them down to the underworld. Team Singapore, they're having such a tough time. And with that all said and done, the instant replay gives us a massive idea, right? when it comes to Team Singapore, they thought that they're safe. They thought that everything is good and fine, but that stun plus that final slash really threw them completely off guard.
Such an aggressive flicker coming out from the side of Dingarai as well, feeling the pressure, feeling the heat, sees the blood in the water, dealing so much towards the Baxia as well. Baxia falling extremely low, and Dingarai pops that blazing duet, and eventually that's the tag from Team Singapore gone. Team Indonesia, they're just tearing through those turrets as they are unable to stand within their own confines of their space.
There is so much fights going on. And Team Indonesia, they're constantly just forcing these fights over the side of Team Singapore just so that they will make bad trades time and time again. And this is how Team Indonesia wants to create a lead for themselves. 9 minutes and 30 seconds, and we're looking at 10,000 goal lead. This lead will continuously grow higher and higher as long as Team Singapore constantly tries to defend outside of their base.
The Lord will be the next site that they set their eyes on for the side of Team Indonesia right now. 3,000 gold ahead is that claw, right? And once that snowball is going, it is a massive wave that cannot be stopped coming in from the side of Team Indonesia as well. Now Alexander looking unkillable, getting so much map advantage. But I gotta say, Delvin, 2-0 and 14 right now. This man has been present in every fight and left unpunished. I've never seen him use that flicker yet.
It's really unfortunate. Delvin has constantly been in the face of Team Singapore, and he's constantly being hit by Roy even. Roy has been putting a lot of emphasis onto Delvin, but she's just dealing really small little poke damages, and she's not anywhere at a point where Kimi is going to be strong enough.
Yeah, it feels like a bubble gun that you're pointing towards the side of Team Indonesia right now as the Lord does go in, and Delvin aggressively goes in as well. Still has the flicker available. Tristan goes down, and Team Indonesia, they get the inhibitor turret, they drag back in the Baxia as well, and that's a double kill coming in from the side of Delvin. And look at the back here as Shauki is going on a hand streak as Dingarai and Delvin, they clean up the rest of Team Singapore. A clean 1-0 for Team Indonesia.
That was way too much for Team Singapore to handle. This is a monstrous play from the side of Team Indonesia where they are just really ferocious at every corners of the map. The moment that they know, of course, then that they have big performance, or they literally have got anything that they can in order to get themselves a power spike, they just go right in. They don't care about anything at the point in time. If they were to lose some members, hey, they are definitely going to get a more better trade, right? So Indonesia, just scrappy fight. In fact, actually, they imagine to be a scrappy fight, but it's not scrappy at all.
It's not scrappy at all, yeah.
If Singapore is able to take fights, or rather take kills away, then yes, it's going to be scrappy back and forth, but at least the trades do go over to the side of Indonesia. But Singapore has got nothing in terms of damage to make it scrappier.
I think they had the damage, they didn't have the control. Right, because of the Lantern lifts up that was consistently there from Delvin, it was consistently repositioning the members of Team Singapore where they were in positions that they didn't want to be.
Yep.
And once that was happening, Dingarai came in towards that back. What is that pose, my friend? Yeah, Scuba, man. So 7-0-12. He is doing so well on that gold lane. Expected Leslie, well, 1v1 against the Claude. Well, Claude does way better right now.
7-0-12. Oh man, it's really unfortunate. Okay, you know what? You know what's the biggest part that is unfortunate? We didn't really quite get to see the reason or the tag coming in for opening up to Leslie. Yeah, I don't know where that is coming from. I really want to know the answer. I don't want to jump into conclusion, but as far as we see it, the composition coming in from Team Singapore seems like they're trying to make their way into early game composition with the Hilda and the Baxia. That looks great. And then coming in with that Kimi, just be like, okay, that is going to be insurance policy, playing for marksman and still have decent amount of pressure in the early game as well. And then boom, Leslie. Okay, everything thrown out the window.
Yeah, I mean, the early game skirmishes were fine for the side of Team Singapore, right? They went on to Alexander, which should have been the key target at level 1 to 2, and they did manage to get the first blood going towards their way as well, but they were unable to convert that objective and goal difference onto Delvin as well. So Delvin being left 5-0 and 14, Dingarai being left 7-0 and 12, and this is uncharacteristic where you see the Baxia, he's unable to go towards that bottom side of the lane at all because Team Indonesia, they were always presenting that pressure on the opposite side of the map, and this is what makes the Claude so good. When the pressure is off, he can solo farm for days.
There is just too many space that Team Indonesia managed to get for themselves, and there's so many windows that Indonesia can constantly just open up for themselves as well. While for Team Singapore, they have a lot of problems with that, right? In the early stages of the game, yes, we can definitely see that. You know, Sreang is able to just dive into someone, Bellamy just constantly just hammering away. Those single target damage can really put quite a number on the members of Team Indonesia. However, right off from the start, the target prioritization is not exactly there. Roy constantly looking at Delvin, Sreang is looking at Afan, Tristan is technically looking at the entire team in general. He wants to open things up and create opportunities for the entire team, and Dream